Yo, what's good, Hot Peppers? We're finally back on the setup, and I'm going to be going over the top 5 class setups for the snipers that you should be using on Modern Warfare 3. This one's going to be a little bit controversial just because we had a lot of sniper changes that has happened in the last couple of months. You know, the SPX getting nerfed, I believe, like almost twice now. The Moors actually just got nerfed, and obviously in the last top 5 snipers that we mentioned in one of the previous videos, didn't have the Moors. Now we have the Moors, so that's going to be placed into a ranking. And then we have the Longbow being nerfed, and we also have the XRK being nerfed as well. So lots of changes, but we're going to go over the base ground class setup to use, and that's going to be marksman gloves to reduce the flinch, covert sinkers, and EOD padding. I do get naded a lot on this game, at least for 10v10. And got to be honest, I think that's the move to rock if you're running for S&D, especially with the infantry vest. Now, if you're playing 10v10 mosh pit, you can rock the overkill vest for 2 snipers, CCT comms vest. I find that very helpful for 10v10. But I have noticed that some people have been rocking the compression carrier. This allows you to be immune to shock, EMP, and snapshot grenades, and reducing the strength to enemy flash stuns and gas grenades. So it's basically like a tactical mask on this thing, alongside with a quick fix. So if you get a kill, immediately your health regenerates very quickly. Really, it comes down to whatever you're going to feel that you want to use. If you do compression carrier, you use tac mask, you get the effects of EOD padding. So on this, I would probably use this with the Moors, so that way you can have MAC holster and tac mask, but I do get EOD padding, so you got to mess around with that a little bit. But the one I've been using for this number 5 sniper on this top 5 sniper class that I was used, as you can see, it is the intervention. Now, to get the intervention to have that OG intervention sound, if you go to your weapons, available blueprints, obviously, it won't show here for me, but you got to find that one that says back in action. So you equip this, go into firing range. This is basically the default sniper. Sounds very similar. The scope, you know, looks pretty nice. Now, me personally, I like it, but there is a few things I would change on it. So the first most important attachment to use in the intervention is you're going to want to rock the FJX blast, so that way the rechambering speed is going to be a lot faster than the stock. And I mean, if you take a look at the stats here, rechamber time 6%, fire rate 14%. Definitely going to help you out a lot. And before I proceed, I know people are going to say that the CAT AMR is technically better than this. In my opinion, I think the intervention is good both in S&D and in respawn. CAT AMR, you know, if you want to drop high kill games, it's going to be a lot harder in respawn, but some people could just do it. But for S&D, you want to use the CAT AMR. For respawn, intervention. For both, I'm going to have to go with intervention. Just a personal preference. Now, this second attachment you're going to want to use is a Skull 40 grip. This will increase your ADS speed, and now this will increase your sprint fire speed as well. So those are the 2 most important attachments you need to be rocking. Now, moving on to the third attachment. This kind of varies. Now, this could go between your optic, your laser, or your magazine, or even your ammunition, or possibly even carry handle. Now, to jump straight into what I've been using for respawn that doesn't require the laser, I actually rock the SPX optic scope here. I'm going to put it on real quick for you guys. Takes a while to be able to get through this because there's a lot of snipers or a lot of scopes. And then moving on to the 4th attachment from the SPX scope is the 7-round mag. This will allow you to get some more clips, you know, get more than a 5 on screen if needed. And of course, if you miss, then you can, you know, rock on that. So now the next attachment, this one can vary. I know a lot of people don't really need or use armor piercing, but I have been getting collats. I've seen people get like triple collats with this as well. So if you want to go for those like one-shot type of clips, not saying like it's a one-shot guarantee, but more like a collateral damage, armor piercing is going to be the move for you. Now, let's say, you know, you're playing S&D, you don't care about that. You want to speed up the ADS speed. You know, you could, by all means, you could use the laser sight if you really don't care about that. And the laser sight I would highly recommend is going to be the Kimura Laser Light. Now, if you guys remember, they did change the way the laser operates with the snipers, with the Kimura Laser Light and the Razorhawk Laser Light. So instead of just having it constantly visible on your hip, it's only visible when you're ADS. So of course, you need to be strategic when you use this laser sight. It does have an increase of 8% ADS, so you could do that, or you could possibly even rock the field wrap handle. Again, by the end of the day, it's all up to you. This just increased the ADS speed by 2%, so not that big of a deal. Or maybe you want to use FJX Lux 7 and increase that movement speed. So really, I think in my opinion, the 3 base attachments, or at least 2 at the bare minimum, is the FJX Blast Skull 40 as the first primary 2 that you always need. And if you're playing respawn, 7-round mag, SPX scope if you don't like the regular scope on it, rock the FJX Lux if you want to have some movement, and the Kimura if you don't want to have your ADS speed so slow, you want to maximize that ADS speed and you're not caring too much about the laser too much, you know, if you're playing it for respawn, by all means rock that. So again, the one I found the most useful is these attachments right here, as you guys can see on screen. Now moving on to the fourth sniper. Honestly, this sniper was ranked pretty high, and now it got put down quite a bit, and that's the SPX 80. Now the SPX 80, it's fast, it's great, it's still pretty much the meta, you can stack with it, but there is other snipers that are at least more efficient than this thing. So the first attachment you need to be rocking on this is the Schlager Match Grip. Get that ADS and sprint fire speed up immediately. Then your next attachment is going to be the FSS SC87 bolt. Then moving on to your stock, put on the PVZ 890 tac stock, increase that ADS speed as well. Now, those are the three main attachments you should be rocking. Now, I did hear that you can put a 12-round mag on this SPX. We're going to cover that in a later video, or pretty much the next video that you guys might see. But there's a high chance they might patch that. So if you're playing respawn, put on the 8-round mag, get those clips. And then if you want to go for the barrel, the Bryson barrel is good. If you're getting, you know, a little bit too much hit markers, do the Elevate 11 barrel. But the Bryson factory barrel should be just fine. This is the best class in my opinion for respawn. If you want to increase that ADS speed even more, let's say for like Surge, or you're going for a swap class, take out their 8-round magazine, put on the laser. Or let's say, you know, the laser is not what you want to do here, and you want to just keep the 8-round magazine, but you still want to have another attachment. And let's say, like, I don't know, let's say you don't even have the 8-round mag and you don't have the laser, but you still want to ADS fast. Hey, by all means, you can even change the scope, put a Lackman Impact 9 scope. If you're on controller, this actually increases the aim assist by just a little bit. I mean, it's not incredibly noticeable, but you'll definitely feel like your shot's a little bit more accurate with the Lackman Impact 9. So that is my number 4 spot. Also, real quick, if I didn't cover it, I'm going to change this because, yeah, there we go. Okay. And then field upgrade, you know, put on tac insert, or you can even put on trophy system. You're playing some hardpoint. And then tactical and lethal, it's all personal preference. And then, of course, if you're doing like something like Ninja Vest or CCT Comms Vest, you know, you just gotta mess with it a little bit. But if you do CCT Comm Vest, EOD padding tac mask, man, it's definitely the meta. But anyways, moving on to the third sniper. And believe it or not, in my opinion, I think it's the Longbow. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because the Longbow is still efficient. Even though they took out the rotational aim assist, basically you have aim assist at the hip. It's still a fast gun. It's still efficient. And you can still pretty much get those fast one-shot kills and stack with it. It shoots faster than the SPX. And as long as you're playing close range, you will win all your gunfights still. It's absolutely nuts. So if you do not have the Jack Tyrant 7062 kit, this will not be your number 3 sniper on this list. I'm going to tell you that right now. This thing is the most important attachment you need to have. Ladies and gentlemen, man, increase of damage and a 10% increase on ADS. What more can a sniper ask for, right? So you slap that on, and then you're going to go over to your rear grip, and you're going to slap on the Not Z3 grip, all right? You're going to get that 3% ADS increase, and then you're going to go over to your underbarrel. You're going to put on the DR6 hand stop. This will increase your ADS speed as well by 4% and your sprint fire speed. And then you're going to go over your optic. Lackman Impact 9 is at least my favorite. You could, you know, mess around and put on the MCPR scope, the Core Yo 13X, you know, or even the Jack Bullseye. That is insane. Or even just letting the iron sights rip through. I mean, it really just comes down to personal preference. Templar OP3 is really good for thermal if you want to rock that, but Lackman Impact 9 is the breadwinner here. Me personally, I don't feel like I need to rock a laser. You know, I think a no stock is going to be the best attachment, and those are 4 attachments I'm already rocking. Now, if I want to do, let's say, I don't know, the tac root suppressed barrel, you know, have like a suppression on that, I could do that as well. Or maybe with a short barrel to have not that much of a damage decrease. So you could do that. Or let's say you want to have the laser and you want to maximize that ADS speed like to crazy tops. You can, you know, put on the laser and you can take out the no stock. I know some people don't like the no stock. So, you know, you could just test out on firing range, see what ADS speed you like. As you can tell, it's still pretty good. You know, like as long as you got accuracy, man, you can make things happen. And of course, if you put on the no stock, I mean, at least in my opinion, I don't think that's that much of a difference. So we go back in firing range here. It's still pretty good, right? Obviously, if you're shooting from afar, you're going to get a higher probability of getting a hit marker. Now, I'm going to play a clip real quick. I'm going to talk over it. It's a multi with the Longbow, and this is the one that's after patch, or I guess you could say current patch. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's still good. You know, you can still get clips with it. You're still gonna get hate for people, you know, for using it because people just absolutely despise this weapon. But in my opinion, I think the Longbow is number 3. But hey, you know, SPX and Longbow could probably switch for you. But speaking of switch, we're going to switch on to the number 2 sniper on the list, and that's going to be the XRK Stalker. You probably already guessed the number 1, but we're not going to get into that just yet. Now, the XRK Stalker, this thing is so good for respawn and S&D. I mean, it's smooth for both controller and keyboard and mouse. I mean, it's such a nice, good, efficient sniper, man. So, first attachment, rock on that no stock, ADS speed increase, and including the mobility. I mean, you just got solid green across the board on the right side there. Moving on to the second attachment, you're going to want to increase that rechambering speed to put on that XRK Stalker light bolt. Trust me, this thing shoots pretty slow. Now I'm putting on the rear grip, XRK Stalker factory grip. This increased the ADS speed by 2% and instant fire speed by 13%. Now the next 2, possibly even 3, because we might end up switching the rear grip, attachments that you probably want to be using is the short barrel, the handler LKP short barrel, because if you take a look here, this is increasing your ADS speed by 13%, man. That is crazy. Now, if you don't want to rock a laser and you want to rock a different scope, because you don't like the scope, Blackman Impact 9 is pretty good on this. But in my opinion, oh my God, I love the SPX scope on this damn thing. That's for me, that's my personal favorite. And let's say, you know, this is, you know, slow for you, whatever. Let's say that's not fast enough, right? You're like, you know what, Zephy, I think that's pretty slow. Take out the XRK Stalker factory grip, put on the Razorhawk laser light, and watch this. Now that is like night and day difference fast, right? And let's say, you know what? You don't want a laser, but you're playing respawn, and you feel like the ADS speed is good enough. By all means, put on the 7-round mag. And you know what? If you want to put on the 10-round mag, hey, go for it. But 7-round mag, it's good enough for me. It's good enough, as you can see there, right? Looks great. So yeah, pretty much I would just go back and forth between the laser, the rear grip, the optic, and the magazine, and just tune it to your own liking. Now moving on to the final sniper. Ladies and gentlemen, you already guessed it. It's the SoaRs. I mean, this thing is the best sniper in this game. You could do it great for S&D, for respawn, and hell, dude, even for Warzone. But of course, we're not covering Warzone because I don't really play that much, so I can't really give that much of an opinion. However, very first attachment you need to be rocking is the quick bolt. This thing, man, I mean, it shoots not bad, but the quick bolt will allow you to get all singles 5 on. And I mean, that's something you just can't sleep on, man. I mean, unless you're gonna be sitting back sniping, not playing aggressive, sure, take out the quick bolt. But I think quick bolt, man, you're gonna want to use it. All right, now moving on to the next attachment, it's gonna be the downfall light barrel. 10% increase on mobility. Can't ignore that at all, man. That's something you need to be rocking right there. So with these 2 being the most important attachments, moving on to the third attachment, it's going to go to the Icarus light stock. Now, you could say the Super Light 90 stock is faster, but to be honest, dude, the flinch resistance on this thing is absurd. I mean, a 21% increase on your flinch, that's, man, I don't know. If you can handle it, by all means, put it on, but I don't think it's worth it. I think the Icarus light stock is going to be the best thing to use for this. And then now your 4th and 5th attachment, this is going to vary a lot, depending on if you want to get a one-shot kill, depending on if you want to get a quad collat, triple collat, collateral, whatever it is. I mean, you're more than likely going to be able to get it without this attachment, but the anti-material slug round. Actually, it's not a slug round, but it's, you know, an ammunition. Sick. So put this on. This will increase your damage by like 20% across the board. Those are your 4 attachments. And then the 5th attachment, you could do the rear grip if you do not want to have any laser showing. You could put the OP 980 grip, but just remember that the flinch is increased by 31%. So be careful with that. Now, if you actually don't want any flinch resistance at all, the counter 6 grip actually might be the meta for this, low key. If you look at this ADS speed, it's still not bad. I mean, I've been messing around, you know, just kind of seeing what works best for me. But if you want to max out that ADS speed, put on the Razorhawk laser light. I mean, if you take a look at the ADS here, it's almost about the same, but obviously slightly faster. And I know some people don't like the scope on the SoaRs. I've seen some people use like the Blackman Impact 9 scope or even the Cordial 13X, and it goes even far as like, you know, using, I guess it's like an iron sight for this, right? Yeah, the iron sight for that. The SoaR's red dot, if even, I heard that's really, really good. I did use a SoaR's Hexar optic scope. I'm gonna be honest, I think this thing is pretty good. But after a while, I think I got used to the regular scope again. So it comes down to personal preference when it comes for the optic. And honestly, you just got to ask yourself, like, do you want to show the laser while you're playing S&D? No? All right, cool. You know, put on the rear grip with, you know, the counter 6 grip. And if the flinch resistance doesn't matter to you, then OP 980 grip, right? And let's say the damage is just fine. You don't really care too much about getting like collaterals and stuff like that, like more than lateral 3 with 1 bullet. Take out the ammunition, put on the laser, and put on the rear grip, or maybe put on the optic and put on the rear grip, right? I don't think any underbarrel is worth putting on unless you maybe put on the skeletal, and that's probably an exception. But I'm not a fan of having an underbarrel at all on my sniper unless like it's extremely unnoticeable, because I don't know. It just feels weird when it's being held like a shotgun. It's just not for me, man. Not for me at all. But if I had to choose out on this, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna go with the Razorhawk Laser Light, or maybe take that out and put on the counter 6 grip. So really just comes down to all personal preference. That's what I just can't stress enough when it comes to these class setups, and that's the reason why I want to make sure that, you know, you guys understand the main attachments you should be using, and then tweak it a little bit to what you would like, so that way it makes it easier for you to snipe. And of course, if you guys found this class setup video helpful, the top 5 snipers, drop a like for me. Let me know down below in the comments what your top 5 sniper is. And if you guys want to see 5 sniper secrets, that will be the next video, which you guys see on the screen. And if it's not there yet, it's probably not out yet. I'm still working on it, but keep it a watch. And if it's not out yet, subscribe and turn on those notification bells. And I'll see you guys in the next video.